TL here. Hope you all are doing well. This episode might feel as if it dropped pretty soon as compared to the last one, and it might be because this is actually dropping in pretty soon. A gap of only about a week or so. This time I hurried because I wanted to scooch in 2 episodes this month, from March onwards, which will onset pretty soon. There will be ample breathing time between each episode, maybe about 2 weeks, 14 days, a fortnight, a whole circle of moon. Yeah. Right, so that being said, let us delve into today's episode of questions, for which I'll give you some weird answers, maybe. Right, so the first question comes from Subikshini. She asks, when we rely on individual beliefs, then why do we have to judge and start an argument? This is a really good question. When I first read it, it made me think for a couple minutes. I thought about a few things here and there, but then you see, we all think that we rely on individual beliefs, which a lot of us do, definitely do. But also at the same time, these individual beliefs are supported directly or indirectly through the society, its thought processes, the stereotypes it holds, and its superstitions. Even though quite a few of us try hard and get through to isolate our preferences and choices, it is not completely possible to eradicate all, because at the end of the day, we live in the same society. Other people's thoughts and emotions affects us too. And when things more than just oneself is accounted for, we as humans and pseudo-perfectionists try to change the factors which are not within our control. Now, changing things which are out of our hands or reach is not something new to the sapiens. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time now, which again is not completely wrong. It's nature fighting against nature itself. But in this course of action, we also tend to judge people whose ideologies doesn't match our own. Let me give you an example. People talk about a TV show or a TV series that they adore. They'll talk as if it's their whole life, and to see someone talk like that, it's beautiful. Honestly, when something comes out from the depth, from the bottom of the heart of a person, the glow on the face, it's worth watching for. But when most of the times, not every situation, but in a lot of situations, lot of places, when that particular person meets someone else who doesn't feel the same way about the same thing, for example, maybe friends is a famous example to take for this. A lot of people, there are three types of people who hate friends, and people who love friends, and there are third group of people, either too old or either too young, who have never even heard of friends. Now, a lot of times when the first two group of bunch of people meet, it is like a war of words waging between them, because honestly, you see, things tend to get a bit murky and ends up in an argument that leads to nowhere most of the time. Now, this was a light-hearted example. Similar things are also valid for views, perspectives, and opinions on religion, science, and life, and even more, actually. We all have opinions, views, and thoughts about a lot of things. And at times, when we see others whose same things, opinions, views, or thoughts don't coincide with us, few of us start judging and arguing about it. Why, you ask? Because we fear. We have always been a bunch of living beings who have stuck together for a great part of our evolution, and having similar ideologies is a key aspect to it. I'd say this fight or flight response is triggered because of our survival instincts. There is definitely more to it, but I'd end this here for now, right? So, Varisha asks, we never think why the devil does evil things, do we? For that, there's a simple answer and a less simple answer. The first one being that we as humans don't care about things that doesn't affect us directly, at least most of the times. So a lot of us don't question about a lot of things. Now for the less simple one, you see things being evil or good are more or less just different perspectives on how we see things. I've talked about something similar in the first episode while answering to Varshang's question. You can listen to it for a bit detailed viewpoint, maybe. Now, just talking about the devil, they do evil things because we've built up their habitat like that. Just like God does good things. Here I am assuming that you believe in God because only devil or only God can never exist. Both have to be on the same plane for it to be practical. Two opposites are like always necessary for something to be stable. And that's basically just the reason. For every good thing, there needs to be something bad. And the devil fulfills the later part. I hope I answered your question or something for that. And the next is if small acts of hate count, why not small acts of love? Arshisha asks this question. For starters, I'd say that either of those do count and make sense. But the question arises for whom? And that is something highly personal. What people consider as acts of hate or acts of love differs. This means that people taking these things into considerations are discriminatory towards what they deem valuable. So yeah, that's a personal bias that exists. For me, I value either of them equally. Others, it's just their life choices. For the last ending question of the day, we have, does it really matter in the end, the life you lived? I chose this one to be the last, not only for the segue, but also because it's a heavy topic, at least slightly heavy for a lot of us. Mainly because we all think about it, or we have at least thought about it once in our life. And if you haven't thought about it ever before, too, that's alright. Yeah, whenever I think about this, the lyrics from the song In the End by Linkin Park pops up in my mind. And it goes like, I tried so hard and came so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Talking about my answer, my reply in short, well, no. But actually, yes. Now, hear me out on this. The little inevitable end is always there for all of us. Personally, you are no more. It becomes difficult for you to feel things because you are no more. I mean, I don't think so dead people can feel stuff. But yeah, that's a different question. That's a different debate for another day. What matters probably in the end is how you felt all the while you were alive, and almost nothing else. But, fortunately or unfortunately, we live amongst other human beings. And as I said before, we live in the society and it affects us. And we affect it. The first one's effect on us is clearly visible a lot of times, but the later, it can only be seen through time. In a similar way, we all affect the people around us, our loved ones, the people you loved, the people who loved you, all of them, all of us, are affected by each other, their actions and their being, both. In the end, it might not even matter for you, but for us, the rest of you, it does. It's a finicky thing, it's like being stupid. You don't know that you're stupid, but everyone around you knows it. Similarly, we don't know or realize the fact that we have an influence on other people's life, but they definitely do. So, to sum it all up, in the end, our lives are like the coriander garnishing. Does it matter? Maybe. But does it have an effect on how the food looks and feels? Definitely. And on the note of food, let me end this episode here. I made myself hungry right now and need something to eat. You also have a little healthy snack and grab a bottle of water later. Stay hydrated, stay peaceful. I'll catch you guys later. Until then, bye bye.
Darkest night, I hope it brings you peace of mind. I know we'll be alright, no matter where you go. Always on my mind.